Welcome to Haunting Resonance. I'm Veylin Noct, your guide through the shadows of reality and the echoes of the unknown. Today's tale dives deep into the twisted corridors of the human mind, where every clue hides a darker truth and every silence holds a scream. This story was created using a mix of imagination and various source materials. If any detail feels off, please forgive us. Got an idea or your own mysterious tale to share? Drop it in the comments. We might just bring it to life. So settle in, turn down the lights, and let's unravel the secrets together. The Himalayan Serenity Inn was not a place you found by accident. It was a destination, hidden deep in the mountains, a refuge for those running from or towards something. Its stone walls draped in ivy stood against a backdrop of endless snow-capped peaks. Silence ruled here, broken only by the wind's mournful howl. Tonight, the silence was heavier, the sky a menacing grey, the wind rattling the windows as if warning of what was to come. Inside, a fire flickered in the hearth. 7 strangers gathered, each seeking escape, unaware the mountains had other plans. Bim Singh, the caretaker, moved quietly, sensing the storm would soon cut them off from the world. As the first snowflakes fell, a sense of finality settled. The road would vanish and the inn would become a cage. The guests, sipping tea, watched the snow, thinking it beautiful, a postcard scene. They didn't realize the storm inside the inn was just beginning. The real danger was not outside, but within these walls. The 7 guests were a study in contrasts, each hiding secrets behind carefully constructed masks. Rohan, the anxious techie, clung to his laptop, eyes darting to exits. Anjali, the sharp journalist, probed with questions, her smile never reaching her eyes. Mrs. Batra, the wealthy widow, spoke of her late husband's empire, but her polished exterior hid a survivor's edge. Samir and Priya, the honeymooners, clung to each other, their affection forced, their smiles brittle. Kabir, the silent photographer, watched from the shadows, his presence unsettling, his camera never used. And then the pale guest, unnamed, unregistered, a ghostly figure who arrived with the snow and sat in the darkest corner, silent and still. The others tried to ignore him, but his presence was a question mark that chilled the room. 7 guests, 1 stranger, and a storm outside. The real mystery was just beginning. The pale guest was the first note in a symphony of fear. The storm struck with fury, burying the inn in blinding white. The lights died, plunging everyone into darkness and fear. Bim Singh distributed candles, his face grim. "We're on our own," he said, sealing their isolation. The guests retreated to their rooms, sleep elusive as the wind howled and shadows danced. Morning revealed a world transformed, 10 feet of snow, no way out, silence pressing in. Anjali discovered Mrs. Batra's room cold, the window wide open, snow swirling in. Mrs. Batra lay on the floor, eyes wide with terror. No marks, no struggle. Panic swept the group. This was no accident. The open window was a puzzle. No footprints, no disturbance in the snow outside. Impossible, yet undeniable. Suspicion poisoned the air. Every stranger became a suspect. The silence of the Himalayas now mocked them. The inn was no longer a haven but a prison with a killer inside. The storm outside was nothing compared to the one within. The first victim had fallen. Mrs. Batra's death shattered the fragile trust among the guests. Fear dissolved civility, turning the common room into a silent courtroom. Rohan grew frantic, wiping his laptop, muttering about firewalls. Anjali's questions became interrogations, her notebook filling with secrets. Samir and Priya's facade crumbled. Priya wept alone. Samir watched Kabir with suspicion. Kabir, usually silent, confronted Bim Singh, who now avoided everyone, locking and unlocking the storeroom, guarding secrets as much as guests. The biggest mystery was the pale guest, vanished without a trace, his room untouched, no footprints in the snow. Had he ever been real? Or was he a ghost conjured by fear and storm? One guest dead, another vanished. The inn's walls seemed to close in. The storm outside was nothing compared to the paranoia within. The real danger was now each other. Fear and confinement tore away the guests' masks, secrets surfacing like bodies in thawing ice. Samir confessed he and Priya weren't married, but ex-employees of Mrs. Batra's late husband, fired after uncovering fraud. Their honeymoon was a cover to confront her. Rohan admitted he was a hacker, hired to steal the same financial data. His failed attempt left incriminating evidence on his laptop. Kabir, confronted by Anjali, revealed himself as an undercover agent investigating Mrs. Batra's money laundering. Bim Singh finally broke. The pale guest was no stranger, but a scientist from a secret research facility hidden in the mountains, shut down after a disaster. The inn, he confessed, was a gatehouse to a forgotten government secret. The guests realized they were all connected to Mrs. Batra and to something far darker. The storm had forced their secrets into the open. The real question, what had they truly stumbled into? The past was not buried, it was waiting. On the fourth day, Anjali found a brass locket in Mrs. Batra's bag. Inside, a folded note, S7, Palagest, W code, Echo. The words pale guest sent a chill through the group. Rohan recognized the format, a project code, not random letters. S7, subject 7, W code, whisper code. It's a protocol, he muttered. The pale guest wasn't just a man, he was a subject. Mrs. Batra was involved. Kabir's face darkened. This is bigger than fraud, it's a black site experiment. Whisper code, he explained, could be a psychological or biological warfare program. The pale guest might be an escapee or a weapon. The inn, the storm, the death, they were all connected to a government conspiracy. As they stared at the code, footsteps echoed upstairs. But everyone was in the room. The story was far from over. The whisper code was a key, unlocking a door to a darker truth. The snowstorm was no longer their prison, their knowledge was. The real storm had just begun. The past was coming for them. 6 months later, the snows had melted, but the Serenity Inn's secrets haunted Anjali. The official report called it a heart attack. The pale guest, a hallucination. Case closed. But Anjali knew better. She quit her job, working from a cramped Mumbai apartment, the cryptic note taped to her wall. Rohan, now her ally, hacked deeper, uncovering Project Samsara, a program for creating ghost operatives through psychological conditioning. A retired general confirmed it, a rogue agency, a project to erase and control minds, using people who wouldn't be missed. The pale guest was Subject 7, Mrs. Batra, a financier. Her death, a cleanup. Anjali realized every guest at the inn, including herself, had been lured there for a reason. They were all loose ends. With the general's testimony, Rohan hacked a forgotten government server. Project Samsara was real, a joint venture between a rogue agency and Mrs. Batra's husband's company. The files detailed psychological manipulation, with whisper code as the trigger protocol. The pale guest was S7. Kabir's father, a lead scientist, had tried to expose the project before dying mysteriously. Samir and Priya's parents were also scientists, victims of the same conspiracy. The inn was no random refuge. It was a trap near the old facility, meant to gather all the loose threads. Then, Rohan found a corrupted file S8, a grainy photo of a girl with a birthmark under her left eye. Anjali touched her own face. She was Subject 8. Her nightmares made sense. She wasn't just chasing the story, she was the story. The past had found her. The experiment was never over. The truth shattered Anjali. Was her life her own, or programmed by others? She and Kabir, both children of the conspiracy, knew they were targets. Their only hope, leak the files. Rohan packaged the data. Anjali prepared to send it to international journalists. Kabir planned their escape. As the upload began, sirens wailed. Shadowy operatives stormed their safe house. A desperate chase through Mumbai's rain-soaked streets ensued. Their pursuers weren't police, they were erasers. A message flashed. Upload complete. The whispers are out. Go. Rohan sacrificed himself to ensure the truth spread. Weeks later, in hiding, Anjali and Kabir watched the world reel from the Samsara leaks. Governments denied, but the evidence was undeniable. The fight was far from over, but they had won a battle. Anjali, now at peace with her identity, received a text. Good work, S8. The echo has been heard. Phase 2 can now begin. The message wasn't from Kabir. The conspiracy wasn't over. It had just evolved. The storm had only just begun. The truth was never what it seemed, and perhaps it never is. If this story stirred your thoughts or gave you chills, leave a like, share and subscribe to Haunting Resonance. We're just getting started. More mysteries, more thrills and more shadows await. Until next time, I'm Veylin Noct, and this was Haunting Resonance.
Thank you for watching Haunting Resonance, where every shadow tells a story. Subscribe for more true horror stories, and don't forget to like, comment, and share if you dare. Follow us on social media for updates. Until next time, let the darkness guide you.